Hey, good morning. How is everyone doing? It is currently April 24th, and this is a severe weather outlook briefing for the next storm system that's already going to begin knocking on our doorsteps really tomorrow, Thursday. And that is going to be the beginning of a very, very long week of back-to-back severe storms. Some things has changed since the last model, so we're going to go ahead and go over that and discuss that in this video. But right now, in general, things are pretty quiet in the United States. Couple showers going over here in the panhandle of Texas. Really, no warnings, nothing going on right now at this time of recording this video. But I do think that's going to change. We do have a severe weather risk out here in the Lubbock area, which we're going to talk about here in a second, for significant hail and a very slight tornado probability as well out here today cannot be ruled out. I do suspect through the day, convection is definitely going to start beginning to build here in eastern Texas. So maybe some pop-up showers and storms, but nothing really crazy as far as that goes. But let's go ahead and jump over to the SPC outlook for today. And we've got that slight risk, which is going to be driven by a 15 hatched area for significant large hail ranging in from 2 inches in diameter is not out of the question for today. This is also going to be accompanied by damaging winds. As we saw yesterday in Abilene, as a matter of fact, we had a very photogenic supercell that formed just north of Abilene, caused some damage, ended up derailing a train. And I think we can kind of see something similar like that today as far as the storms go. Thankfully, it's a more rural area out here. There's not much out here for to damage. So if anything does decide to go bonkers out here, then hopefully it'll be in the middle of nowhere. And like I said, this is going to be accompanied by a very, very slight risk, 2% tornado risk, very isolated. And that's even if we do get a storm firing up here. And I'll show you why, because, the latest HRRR model runs are really struggling out here. Around 7 p.m., 8 p.m. Central Time, they want to try to get a rogue cell going up here, a very isolated cell, discrete by itself, but that's if it ends up forming, excuse me. Um, but we can go ahead and go over to some of the other future models as well for Thursday. And this is going to be for April 25th as we have that enhanced risk. And this is driven by really two key factors. And I think Thursday is, matter of fact, going to be a conditional risk. I don't necessarily know about Saturday, Sunday, and as well into Friday. I think Saturday and Sunday will definitely have a better probability as far as if we're going to actually see storms fire, right? So it's a very conditional risk. It's kind of like the last setup we seen not so long ago, about a week or two ago, right? And this is driven by a 10% hatched area for significant large tornadoes, and you can see that here. Significant hatched area for the Panhandle of Texas, western Oklahoma, as parts of southern Kansas, and this is a real possibility, and it's really going to come down to if storms can fire. If we don't have any storms that fire, then obviously we're not going to see any severe weather. There might be some people here in Oklahoma and Kansas that, Thursday, tomorrow, that don't even see a drop of rain, right? So it's going to be a conditional threat. And we still got that damaging wind threat, which is 15%, not hatched or anything significant. And then the hail risk. The hail risk is going to be real out here. Any storms that can get going in this environment are going to have the real probability of producing baseball, I mean, softball size hail is not out of the question. 4 inches diameter is not out of the question. So you will just have to keep an eye and see how things evolve over the next 24 hours. We start moving closer to this event, and we can kind of go ahead and go over to the SIPs. These Colorado State Universities kind of releases their own experimental models here, and they've been doing a pretty good job so far this season. And you can see, matter of fact, tomorrow, Thursday, they're putting the tornado probability at a modern of 15%. But it's still going to be conditional, but they're putting out a modern risk. And we can go ahead and go over to some of the further outlook for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. This is for Friday. The SPC has only got a slight risk for Friday as of now. But some of these other models are pushing a moderate risk, significant modern risk. Obviously still too early to see what driven by, but it's definitely concerning. And then we have a day four, and this is going to be for Saturday, and we've already have an enhanced risk by the SPC. 30%. This is not the experiment models. These are by the people that really know what they're doing and know what they're talking about. And that's definitely concerning. And the SIPS models are already indicating, I mean, a massive, potentially, modern to high risk on that day, which is a very, from what I'm seeing from the models, is a real possibility. And then it just continues into Sunday. We got a slight risk. They're already bumping it up to an enhanced risk, maybe in parts of Arkansas for that day. And it just, it keeps going. But, that's getting really further out, and stuff starts to really get inaccurate going that further out. But we'll kind of go ahead and dive into the HRRR model, which is very good for same day rapid refresh models to kind of see what's going to go on during the day, kind of a future radar track here. And we can kind of push it to the time frame of 4 p.m. today, Wednesday, April 24th. And really by 7, 8 p.m., I mean, really nothing out here. And it's been less and less and less. Like if we go back to the 06Z model about 7 runs ago, this model does show a discrete cell way up here south of Lubbock in that slight risk for severe weather, a rogue cell, but it's really going to be if storms can fire. As of now, the latest runs right now are not showing any storms firing out there. Maybe 10 p.m., maybe a rogue cell, a couple cells out here at about 10 p.m., but it's really going to depend. So, we'll just kind of have to wait and see. But just, anyone that lives out here, maybe south of Lubbock, just know that, there is a possibility. Just be ready. Make sure your cars are parked in a safe place on the garage from hail and things like that. Because if storms do form, they're definitely going to be able to pack a punch. So let's go ahead and head on over to our surface cape, convective available potential energy. And this is energy for the storms. This is what they feed off. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at this as well as some other models. All right, diving into the cape now. Sorry about that, guys. We had a little bit of glitch with the computer, something going on here, possible internet issue. But diving into cape, surface cape, right? Convective available potential energy, and this is energy for the storms, and we can kind of begin. Um, let's go ahead and take it back here to Thursday, right? Around midday, around 11, 12 p.m. Almost 3,000 joules per kilogram of cape energy, right, for these storms to feed off. And in general, you only need about 1,000. You only need about 1,000 joules per kilogram for thunderstorms and about 1,500 for severe thunderstorms. So there's definitely enough energy in the atmosphere for tomorrow, for Thursday, April 25th, for these storms to really, really get going. And I mean, we peak out at almost 4,000 up here in, Western Oklahoma, as well as up in Kansas and places like that. And, you really see this energy just integrated, along the dry line, and it really just keeps ramping up, ramping up, ramping up. So the energy is there. And another thing we can look at as well is the is the 850 millibar wind speed low level jet. And this is going to kind of show us how, how much winds are coming out of the south to really get these storms going and flowing. So let's go ahead and take it back to 1 p.m., right? Definitely got a low level jet starting to kick in here. Southerlies are just streaming into Oklahoma, right? This is around 1 p.m. Looks like we got some up here in Kansas pushing maybe 46 knots. Not crazy, not too impressive yet, but let's keep pushing this forward around the time frame of when we think these storms could fire if they do fire. And that's going to be roughly about, I'm going to say, when the sun starts going down, 8 p.m., 9 p.m. And you can see, I mean, it's this low level jet just absolutely is ripping along this dry line. I mean, we got almost 60 knot low level jet winds, and this is really going to help these storms build and begin to rotate out here in this area where the severe weather risk is located. So any storms that do fire out here are going to be very, very robust. They're going to build quickly. They're going to pack a punch, and just they're going to leave behind whatever they want to leave behind, and they're not going to care whose doorstep they're knocking on. So it's definitely concerning, but it's still conditional. And we can definitely go ahead and jump over to the later cape models, the longer range cape models for that day as well for Thursday and going into Friday. And you can see, I mean, I don't want to get too far out, right? I want to take it day by day. I don't want to show y'all models too far out because things will change. They have changed, right? So, I don't want to go too far out in the sense of, hey, this is what's going to happen. No, it's going to change. I'll do a brief discussion on each video because I know there were some people asking as well in other videos, hey, can you do like longer range forecast models and things like that? And it's like, I can definitely do that. The only issue is it's going to change, right? I can do especially when it comes into detail and things like that with these models, is the details are going to change. The over broad view of maybe a whole as a weather pattern can definitely help predict storm systems coming up. But overall, it's definitely hard to nail down the details when you're, more than pretty much 5, 6 days out, even 3 days out, things are going to change. But we can kind of see here, pushing this to kind of Saturday into Saturday, as far as the energy that's in the atmosphere. And you can see, I mean, it's just a loaded gun, plenty of energy, pushing almost 4,000 joules per kilogram here on Saturday and Sunday in parts of Texas, Arkansas, going all the way up to Kansas. And going back to Thursday and Friday, you can see the dry line very clearly here. There's plenty of moisture in the atmosphere. It's a huge moist sector or warm sector going all the way to the East Coast. And that's a problem we've had with a lot of the previous severe weather events, is we didn't really have that much of a warm sector and not enough moisture. But this storm system is going to be lacking anything but that. And like I said, it's still going to be conditional. And we can see that dry line clearly around 10 p.m. somewhere out here in the panhandle of Texas, maybe near Amarillo, pushing into Oklahoma. And it just continues to progress to the east 1 a.m. Friday. And most of these storm systems are going to occur into a nocturnal event. So it's going to be nighttime. People are going to be sleeping. And we can kind of go into Friday now, 11 p.m. And it kind of back builds. It's stationary, and it starts feeding back in that moisture. And basically gets ready for the next severe weather event. And it starts ejecting off to the east again, and then we have another bully ball trough come down, another storm system into the Central Plains. And that's going to kind of be the pattern for the rest of the month of really May. Is with storm system after storm system, we're still going to have a lull here and there, kind of a break in the patterns where it'll be nice for a couple of days, and then it's back to a week of severe weather, right? What can you do, Mother Nature? um but that's pretty much going to conclude today's video, guys. Like I said, kind of just to summarize everything over and get an outline: slight risk today, enhanced risk tomorrow, very conditional though. Still a slight risk for Friday, but I think that Saturday is going to be potentially one of the bigger days, right? And it's really not going to matter though, because at the end of the day, yes, they have enhanced care. It's so far out and they have so much confidence. But if we get a strong, significant tornado, per se, in a very populated area in Oklahoma tomorrow, it's not going to matter if it's slight risk. It's not going to matter if it's a marginal risk, right? The fact is, we still had that big tornado hit a populated area and it did damage, right? So don't get hung up on the probabilities, because it doesn't, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. All it takes is that one storm hitting that one area that can ruin millions of lives. And, you know, it definitely can change, and definitely change overnight. So we're going to continue monitoring the situation. Appreciate everyone that's watching. Stay tuned. I'll be releasing another video tomorrow. We're probably planning to leave here in Central Texas about 5, 6 a.m. tomorrow morning and start heading up to probably Amarillo, Western Oklahoma, to start documenting and chasing these storms. So stay tuned for that, guys. Appreciate you watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, as I'm going to be doing pretty much, like I said, daily updates almost every single day now, as long as I'm not busy with other things in life. So appreciate you guys. Stay tuned, and I'll see y'all